Luke Tanaka with head football coach Ron Planz, and coach, a tough, real heartbreaking 13-10 loss to Illinois Wesleyan. What were your overall thoughts on the matchup now that you've had a chance to think about it for a couple days?
Well, I knew heading into the game that we matched up pretty well with them as far as players to players, scheme to scheme, coaching to coaching. I thought it was going to be a really competitive game, and I was excited to kind of see, how it all turned out. To be honest with you, and it turned out to be exactly that, a really competitive game. You know, we. We made some great plays. We missed some great play opportunities. They made some great plays and missed some great play opportunities. So it was one of those games that kind of went back and forth. But we're growing and building to that kind of program who's been there, done that before, and maybe that had as part of it as you go. And we're you got to learn lessons in all the games that you play. And as a program now, we're learning how to finish, how to play in tight games, how to make plays when you need to, and they're a team and a history, and that coaching staff's been there a long time. They've been through a lot of that stuff, and that probably played a little bit of difference in the game.
On defense, first 20 minutes or so, give up 10 points to Illinois Wesleyan. Next 40-plus minutes, you don't give up anything until that game-winning field goal at the end. What adjustments did you make on defense? Were you impressed with the way your defense stepped up there in those last 40 minutes?
It was great to see our defense come back out with the swagger and confidence that they had played with for most of this football season. And, we didn't really make many adjustments at all. They had two-play, 85-yard drive, I think, that scored their touchdown. And, that was just giving up some big plays, missed a couple tackles, took a little bit of a poor angle on the pass, and that kind of opened it up. But they moved the ball and they got some good statistics, but we really hammered them when we needed to, and really put up a wall to stop them in most scenarios and force them to punt and do those things. We created a couple turnovers, which was good to see. We hadn't done that in a couple weeks on defense, and so it was kind of just that. We had a good plan. The coaching staff did a phenomenal job of coming up with ways to slow them down, and we did. And so that's pretty much what I saw.
On the field, who really stood out on defense? Seemed like you had a lot of tackles across the board. I think Andy Warson was the only one who had double-digit tackles, be a couple guys tackles for loss, a couple turnovers. Was there anybody who specifically stood out on defense?
When you're playing good defense, a lot of guys make plays. I thought the one side of the ball that really stepped up, probably in one of their best games of the year, was our defensive line. I thought they really answered the challenge that we posed to them, because they had been a group overall that hadn't had much production this year, and we really challenged those guys on that, and I thought they responded really well. But our linebacking core and our secondary did exactly what you expect them to do, and that's why the statistics are spread out so far across the defense, is because as they ran it this way, then that guy made the play. And if they ran it the other way, then this guy made the play. And it wasn't somebody having to run all over the field to make all the plays, and that's a sign of a good defense.
Get a huge play, trailing 10-0 at halftime, right out of the break. Jawan Gains breaks a 95-yard touchdown. And it kind of seemed like, after watching a little bit of the Carthage game, that was almost in the making. Like he had a couple chances to break away against Carthage. Did you kind of expect him to eventually be able to break one like he did against Wesleyan?
I did. I mean, we have him back there for that purpose. He has game-changing ability. He's a dynamic runner with the football in his hand, and this is one of the ways we can get him involved in our game. And we took one back against Carthage. We got called for holding on it. He had a really long return against Carthage as well. Actually, his first return of Saturday, he almost broke as well. And, it's been close. And I give credit to the other 10 guys on that unit, too, because those guys are so excited to block for him. And it sounds weird because nobody wants to go out and be the frontline guy on kickoff return, but those guys really take pride in that, and they really enjoy blocking for him, knowing that he has a chance to break it, and they could be the block that springs him. And so it's fun to break the huddle with those guys before we go out for that stuff, because you could see it in their eyes, in everyone's eyes, that I'm gonna be the guy that gets the block that sends Jawan to the house. So it was a good unit effort there.
Statistically, it really seemed like Illinois Wesleyan dominated the game, but you're able to hang in it all the way through. What do you think was the key to staying tied for the entire, once you score again in the third quarter, tied in the second, for most of the second half? What was the key to staying in the game there?
We're a good, resilient football team. We play with passion. We play with emotion. We're fundamentally sound. We're physical. Those things keep you in football games. It's not flashy. It doesn't light up the scoreboard or get people overly excited. But being fundamentally sound, being physical, playing smart. We didn't have any dumb penalties that we'd seen in the last couple weeks. Those things keep you in football games. And our guys, from a player standpoint, and coaches from a coaching standpoint, and just overall as a program standpoint, we are getting so much better. And we're on a path to where these kind of experiences that we experienced this past weekend, losing 13-10 to one of the top programs in the history of the CCIW, is going to make us better. And the guys understand that. They understand the little things that they do on a daily basis, the little things that they do in a game is what's going to build this program, and we're going to be on the winning end of those 13-10 games in the future here.
It seems like they're really understanding what the process is, because of course you've been fourth or fifth around there in the conference for many years, and that next goal of course is to get to those Wesleyans, get to those Carthages, get to the Wheaton North Centrals, and you've played both Wheaton and Illinois West and Carthage. Really, the other three teams had you so close. So do you think they of course it's a little disappointing to lose, but they understand that process?
I think so. I think so. I think from a coaching standpoint we understand. I think from a player standpoint we understand it. You hurt inside for the guys, especially the seniors, who they know they have the talent, and we know we have the talent. And football, sometimes the game of breaks. The ball bounces for you or bounces against you, and some of those things you can't control. But I hope, and I believe in my heart, that those guys understand that they're part of something special. And they're going to be a part of all the success that comes after this game, as well as all the people that came before them as a part of what we've done this year. And while we sit at 4-4 overall, we have taken such monumental steps as a program. And I hope they don't lose sight of that as we move forward here and as they move on into their careers, and they can look back with some pride and some happiness that, hey, we're a part of that turning of the corner for Elmhurst, and we will to the end of time believe we're an elite program with elite players doing elite things, and I think that's starting to show.
Speaking of those seniors, it'll be senior day against Milliken on Saturday. It got to be a very exciting celebration with so many great seniors on that defense.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough watching them come out for the last time onto Langhorst. There's 30 total seniors on this squad. Watching them walk out of that locker room for the last time in their uniforms. And I'm hoping, if they do what they're capable of doing, if we coach the way we're capable of coaching, I'm hoping they're ringing that bell for a last time too on Langhorst.
1 o'clock start against Milliken. What are you expecting from the Big Blue, a team that is right now in the bottom of the conference, but a team that has been competitive with Elmhurst for many years?
Yeah, well, they've beaten the teams we've beaten, and they've lost to the teams we've lost to. I think the only ones they haven't played yet is Wesleyan, and we haven't played North Central yet. So pretty evenly matched on the record side there. They're a very athletic, dynamic team. They're young, but they're very, very athletic. Both sides of the ball, offense and defense. And they got a new coach this year. So we're trying to work really hard to figure out exactly what what his philosophy is in game management. What is his philosophy offensively, defensively? How does that factor into his special team stuff? And we're really working hard to put our guys in the best position to compete out there. But they've got a lot of momentum and confidence going right now down there. They've got a new coach, and it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a game that's probably gonna come down to a last-minute drive or one of those things, and hopefully the lessons we learned this past weekend will help us moving forward.
1 o'clock Saturday, last chance to see the Blue Jays here at home, Langhorst Field. Coach, thanks for joining me.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.